Good morning. Hello, Songbirds. It's Kerry Hope from the SongbirdTree.com and welcome to the live stream. Hello, Virgie. It's so good to see you. Hey, Kathleen. Lovely to see you as well. I hope you're excited. Tammy, good to see you as well. Now, today is a very special episode, guys. Episode 24, Healthy Movement and Nutrition for Singers. It's going to be amazing. I have my own personal trainer and health coach coming on board the live stream today. I'm going to introduce you to him in a second. And we're going to be talking all things to do with great movement and nutrition specifically for singers. You're absolutely going to love this one. All right. Now, before I introduce my friend Niall, I do want to tell you I do have a free mini course in case you didn't know how to sing in mixed voice and stop cracking, flipping and straining. And did I mention it's free? Free! Okay, so you just click on the link in the description box and the link's appearing up on the bottom of the screen right now. Sign up and you will get this 4-video mini course completely free sent to your inbox. And you're going to really love it. It's something I have created because I'm very passionate about this topic. I feel like every singer on the planet gets confused when it comes to mixed voice and what is it. And there's so much teaching out there that can be very, very, very confusing. So I decided to put a little course together that's going to make everything clear for you and just get you started, on that journey so that you can actually sing in a way that you're proud of. Yeah. So get onto that one. All right. So I want to introduce you to Nile Sohtra. He is a personal trainer and health coach. He runs his own business called SoFit. And he is also a singer, okay? So this is really exciting. There's a reason why I brought him on board because he, being a singer himself, will also understand, I guess, the challenges that singers go through when it comes to their body and their voices and what to eat and what not to eat and how to move and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here we go. Guys, I want you to, put your hands together. Give me, the most enthusiastic emoji that you can while I welcome Niall on, okay? So I'm just going to see where, yep. Hey, morning, Susan. Darren Alexander. Hey, how's it going? Izzy, how you going? All right, everyone's excited, I'm guessing. All right, everybody, put your hands together. We are now going to welcome Nile Sohtra, personal trainer and health coach.
Hi, hey, how's it going? Hey, Kerry.
It is so great to have you here. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, good. I've had a good morning. I've already done my personal workout, went for a bit of a run as well, so I'm feeling pumped, ready to go.
Pumped.
Ready to talk about nutrition and movement.
Fantastic. All right. You know what? Before we get into the juicy stuff, and I know you're going to get really, really practical today with us. You're actually going to get up and show us some movements and stuff, which I'm so excited about. And I invite you all songbirds that are on live right now, and even as you for those of you who are watching later, to get up out of your seats, off your couch, and actually come along and do the movements as well with Niall. Yeah. What do you think, Niall? That's good advice, eh?
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, but before we get into that, I'd really love to, I guess, introduce, what you do more to the songbirds who are watching. So now tell us, you're a personal trainer and a health coach. How did you get into that field?
Yeah, so it all kind of began when I was about in year 8, roughly year 8. I had some complications with my feet, and long story short, there were 2 joints that were actually joining together in my ankles. And so for about a year, I couldn't move. So I had to go through physio, which they couldn't explain what was going on, then eventually surgery, and then recovery from there. And so for about a year, I was very sedentary, didn't move a lot, got quite overweight. I was quite insecure. Just with the state that I was in and the condition that I was in. But after that, that year went through, I just got passionate about movement, and I wanted to move more because I couldn't for a whole year. And then from there, I just got a passion to help others move better, because that's all it pretty much is. Exercise and fitness is about, moving and moving well and
Yeah.
moving better, depending on your lifestyle and what you do. So I went to uni, did my Bachelor of Health Science, got qualified as a personal trainer and as a health coach. And I think 5-6 years down the track, here I am.
Yeah. Oh, that's such an inspiring story, Niall. I mean, the fact that, you actually went through your journey of suffering yourself, with something that sounds quite debilitating, and obviously it affected your self-esteem and all that. But to see you now, like just living your best life is just so cool. And I hope that it's just, a real inspiration to the songbirds who are watching today, that no matter what situation, guys, that you're in, you may be feeling like you're not 100% feeling well in your body or your voice or whatever, but there's always hope. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, Noel, you're also a singer. That's so cool. So tell us about, what does singing look like in your life?
Yeah, well, it actually, talking about where I came from in terms of my health and my health journey and my injury, when I wasn't moving much, my parents actually bought me a guitar, and I picked up the guitar and I just started learning how to play the guitar myself, started singing along, and that kind of became a bit of my escape to what I was actually going through. So that dark period, that journey that I had to go through for that year had a bit of light in it as well, where I actually picked up music, and I did in my cast on both legs. I actually went to some guitar lessons that my school was running. And then I'm involved with my church as well. So I'm a worship leader there now. Before that, I was just playing guitar. And so I got around, the worship leaders and the team there, and they were so supportive, so great. They taught me, they took me under their wing, and ever since then, I've just been on that learning and that journey of music and using music as a tool to express what we're going through and how we're feeling. So that's been a bit of my journey with the singing and with guitar. But at the moment, it'll always deep down be something that's very personal to me, and something that's close to the heart, and a way of expression of what I'm going through. Yeah.
Oh, that is so good, Niall. Like, I just love that how your story of singing intertwines with your journey of suffering with your body, that it actually was a really big way in which you got healing, I guess. I'm sure it contributed to your 100%. Mental health and well-being. And
say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so good. And the fact that you can actually share this gift in a supportive church community is incredible, So good, Niall. Yeah, already very inspired. I cannot wait for what's coming up next. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing a bit of your story with us, and just getting a bit vulnerable and personal. Really, really, really appreciate that. So a few people are saying hello to you. Kathleen from California is welcome, Niall. I think Darren's really impressed. I'm not sure what you said that impressed him, but he's given you a big wow there. Hey there, Niall from Izzy. Izzy, where are you from? I can't remember. Tammy's also saying hello. Susan's actually thanking you. And Darren's given you a big amen. How cool's that? Kathleen's like, amazing. So, hey, the songbirds are excited. Now it's going to get even better. So what we're going to do now is I just want to ask you a few questions now, because, I'm a big believer that a healthy body flows into a healthy voice. Like if we're really tight in our body, or we're feeling lethargic or whatever, it actually does flow into the voice. So, I would love for you to share with us some practical movements and stuff. There's a few different areas that are very important to singers in being able to free our voice. The first area is just loosening our body, getting rid of tension, waking up the body. I always encourage my students to do some of that before they sing anything. So before you even warm up your voice, you should actually do some movements that get rid of tension and wake up the body, loosen the body. So how do you feel about showing us some movements for that to start with?
Yeah, absolutely. Just before that, I'll kind of explain why. Sure. I think in terms of just where our vocal box is and where our voice is, we've got our shoulders, we've got our chest, and our neck are probably and a little bit of our back as well, are probably the main areas that we're looking at in terms of specifically focusing when it comes to singing. Okay, so
Yes.
some areas that can get really tight when it comes to kind of singing and just in general life as well. Sitting down, being on the couch, maybe you've got a desk job, just depending. I mean, we're all kind of sitting down more these days. A lot of what happens is that our shoulders actually fall quite in. Okay, so that's called rounded shoulders. Rounded shoulders has quite an impact on our neck.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can, on an angle, if you can see that if I don't have good posture and I'm always in this position, okay, that's going to actually put quite a lot of strain through my neck as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so some practical tips to kind of loosen up, especially I'd say roughly about 30 to 60 minutes before when we're actually about to sing. So it actually gives time for the body to loosen up. So if you want to get out of your seats, we're going to go through some exercises and some movement.
Right.
Okay, now here are some practical ones. So like I said, we want to make sure that our shoulders are loosening up. Okay, so a good one is to make some nice big circles. Okay, all the way around. So our shoulder is actually a ball and socket joint. So if you think about it right inside there, so this is our deltoid muscle, our big shoulder muscle. Right inside there, our joint is a ball and socket joint, okay? If we're not moving that around good or well enough, okay, in all directions, it's going to get quite stiff. So a good way to open it up is to go all the way around. So these are dynamic stretches, trying to lubricate joints, trying to lubricate muscle groups, opening the shoulders up. Now, of course, you can also do this with one arm. That's totally fine as well. Okay, going all the way around. And then you also want to go back around the other way as well. Okay, I want to make sure we're opening up your chest, opening up your shoulders, opening up your back. The second one that I would also recommend is to open up your shoulders, have your elbows out in front. I like to make like a bit of a praying kind of motion. And then I like to rotate those shoulder blades. So on a side angle, you want to keep that 90-degree angle. You want to squeeze your shoulder blades in and then bring your arms together, opening up those shoulder blades, bringing them back together, opening them up, and bringing them back together. So all these movements, you want to do roughly about 15 to 20 reps of each one. Okay, the next one I like to do is just circles in my shoulders. So there's tension being released through your neck. Okay, now there's a big muscle group down your neck called your sternocleidomastoid. Big name, but it's a big neck muscle group that gets really, really tight. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we've got movement through our neck, because if our neck's tight, if our shoulders are tight, that's going to be in our neck's tight. That's going to put pressure through our voice as well. Back around the other way as well. Like I said, you want to go for about 15 reps or so. I'm just going through a couple. Okay, and then all the way around. Now the next one, this is specifically for your neck. So we started off with the shoulders and your back and a bit of chest. Then we opened up your shoulder blades and around your shoulders and your neck. Okay, then it came in a little bit closer. Okay, now we're going to come a little bit closer to the neck. And we're actually going to make little circles all the way around, trying to release all that tension. You might feel a bit of cracking. You might feel a little bit of tension through there, and then you want to go back around the other way as well. Okay, you can do this a couple of times depending on how you feel. You want to go up and back down as well. And you want to go up and then back down and relax. So all these movements are actually helping lubricate those joints, lubricate those muscle groups, okay, and to help release tension or unnecessary tension within the muscle groups. That's going to help open them up, loosen them up, and ultimately relieve pressure through your voice. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Niall. Like, that is just such a crucial thing, because tense muscles will absorb sound, you see,
Yeah.
and that actually makes us push our voice more. So
Mm,
this is so valuable. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
And I think,
Songbirds, I hope that you were off your couch and on the floor, on your
yeah,
feet, and actually doing that along with Niall. Now, the
yeah,
next area I guess I wanted to ask you about, Niall, was, as a singer, it's actually important to have, I guess, large breath capacity and also just stamina, like, especially like, I guess we all sing to varying degrees and whatever.
yeah,
But, if we are required to sing for a long period of time, or, if you're a professional, let's say in musical theater, and you do like 8 shows a week, that sort of thing, there's just vitality and energy and stamina in the body that we need in order to be able to give the voice the vocal stamina that it needs. Do you have
correct.
any movements to share with us to help us build vocal stamina or body stamina and also
Absolutely.
breath capacity?
Yeah, I'm going to show you my top 3 for vocal stamina and to build.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, to build kind of that aerobic capacity, I think, that impacts our lungs as well. Now we'll go through them. Okay, so I might go.
Now, before you start, let's just let
Yeah.
you know, Niall, that Darren really loved those exercises you just shared. Virgie's like, awesome stretching, so
Yeah.
good. Kathleen's like, really great. Santucci's also thanking you. Tammy as well. So, yay, everyone's digging this. All right, I'll leave it over to you. Let's do some exercises to build body stamina and breath capacity in our lung capacity.
Now, with body stamina and to build capacity, obviously we want to think about the lungs, okay? So we want to think about progressive overload. So what I mean by that is that you want to start off with some repetitions of exercises, but we never want to stay there, okay? So we want to build as we go. I like to say a good marker is about on a week or 2, depending on what type of exercise that you're doing, is to slowly increase the time each time you do that exercise or each time you do that movement. Okay, so my go-to to build capacity through your lungs and to build stamina is the good old star jump. Okay, now we're jumping sideways with our arms touching up in the sky and getting movement through our shoulder blades and our chest as well. So how about we do 15 of them all together? Okay, I might be a little bit quick, but join in with me. So going for star jumps. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Another one that I love is high knees. Okay, so bringing your knees up as quick as you can go. An alternative to the star jumps is also just arm going out to the side, leg going out to the side as well. Now with the high knees, you can do knee to elbow if you prefer, as quick as you can go, or you can just get your knees up as high as you can. So let's go for about another 10 seconds. Getting those knees up. Now you can see that my heart rate is going up. More oxygen required, and relax. Whew. Okay, so heart rate's pumping. We're getting the blood flowing. This is going to help our lungs expand. This is going to help get more oxygen into the system. And you can already see that in my voice, I'm struggling to talk a little bit more now. So this is helping build that stamina. Again, help build endurance through our lungs. And the last one is going for a little bit of a squat and then jumping up to the sky. So almost like a half burpee. Okay, so you're squatting down. I like to pray up, just helps me think about getting through them. So you're jumping up and up to the sky, rotating those shoulders as well. And relax. Whew. Okay, so we got the heart rate up. So the goal is to get the heart rate up. Okay, so you can go for a run. You can go uphill. I like going uphill on some areas, still trying to catch my breath. Whew, that was good. Hopefully you got your breath up as well, building that stamina. But going uphill is also a great opportunity. I've got a hill where I live right now, and we live on a hill. That helps get your heart rate up as well. But you want to think about increasing the time each time you do it, or each week that you do it. You never want to stay at the same spot. You always want to make sure that we're increasing as we go.
Incredible. That's so good, Niall. Thank you so much. I reckon you have everyone, breaking out in a little bit of a sweat.
Yeah,
it's very cool. Yeah, no, very good. And thank you for the tip of like, gently increasing as we
Yes.
go as well. I think that's actually a really good one because our bodies tend to get used to a certain level of
Yeah.
intensity, doesn't it?
And I mean, a song can sometimes go up to, 3-4 minutes. And we
Yeah.
need that breath capacity to be able to sing that song. But sometimes we're only running, for a little bit or not going, in short bursts. We want to make sure that we're building that aerobic capacity so we are keeping up with the time frame and the demand of the song as well. And I like to sometimes even go for a run while humming the song, doing like a vocal warm-up. And so I'm humming it in the background, which makes me focus on my voice and in my core. But at the same time, I'm building that aerobic capacity while singing that song or the song that I'm trying to learn. So it helps me build, that lung capacity for that song too.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that tip. Good
Yeah.
one. Really, really good
So
one.
sing and exercise at the same time.
What's that?
So sing and exercise at the same time.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
that's definitely a good one to build vocal stamina. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So good. Darren, you've got a request to join to take their Zumba class.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Darren is in Canada though, so that might be a little bit difficult for Niall, Darren, but we'll see what we can do. Now Tammy's just asking a quick question here, Niall. What do you think? Anything for someone older, like a 50-year-old? Does yoga help?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, another component of fitness. So we've talked about kind of two components at the moment. So we've talked about mobility, so loosening up the body. So there's so many components of fitness that you can look into. I think mobility is a very, very important one. Aerobic capacity is a very important one as well. So making sure that our oxygen demand / our lung capacity is nice and high to meet up with the demands of singing. But another one is flexibility. So flexibility helps release tension, okay? So if your neck muscles, back, chest, shoulders are all loose and they're flexible, that's just gonna help relieve tension again through your neck and your shoulders. There's a quote, someone said, and I'm not too sure who said this, but I wrote it down, it says, singers strive for greater energy without greater tension. Okay, so we want greater energy without that tension, right? So if our body are loose, if our body is flexible, if it's at a mobile capacity, it's just going to help with our voice even more. So yoga, absolutely, there's so many components of flexibility, mobility, and building still areas of strength in certain areas. I would 100% recommend it. Yeah.
Yay, so good, so good. There's always something for everybody. Virgie's just telling you that you're really awesome, Niall. So that's really cool.
Thanks.
And yes, he is. All right. Now, thank you for those tips on movement. I just feel like those tips were absolute gold. So Songbirds, I really encourage you to go away and actually put that in place. Make it a part of your daily routine before you start any vocalizing, any singing. It's just going to make your singing better, which is incredible. Now, I'd like to sort of pivot a little bit now and move into the area of nutrition. So, yeah, what tips do you have for us there, Niall, in terms of what's good for singers to eat, how to fuel our body, drink, not eat, whatever. Take it away.
I think you nailed it when you said fueling your body. A lot of people, the first question I like to ask is, what do you think about food? And all food really is fuel for the body. And so we've got to make sure that we're fueling the body well and to capacity, to good capacity, because obviously there is a limit to how much our bodies need in terms of energy. And there is a when we start to increase that or go beyond what our body actually needs, then we tend to store weight or we're losing weight too quickly. So we want to make sure that the body is getting the best nutrients possible. Okay. Now, specifically in terms of singing, our voice, when we sing, our throat, so it would be our esophagus. I think that's the right. Yeah, esophagus is the right word for our throat. We want to make sure that what goes in it before we sing or before we perform or whatever that is, that's not going to hinder what we're trying to when we're trying to perform. So, a few little tips or some foods that really work well for the body. I think number one, you want to make sure that you're not having too many processed foods. I think it comes back to, it sounds a bit gross, but mucus production.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're consuming processed foods like lollies or juice or, chocolate, that's just going to release that membrane of mucus to overwork. And then we get really, really phlegmy. And then when we're trying to sing, that might restrict us, or that might make us feel as though, oh, I just need to clear my throat. That's not going to help in any way.
No.
So if we can avoid those types of foods, am I saying they're bad foods? Not necessarily. I think, like I said, all food is fuel. The body doesn't actually know if you're having fruit or you're having, fast food. But I think when we want to fuel the body, we want to make sure it's going in with the right nutrients. Okay, so another one I would probably stick clear from is dairy products. I think cheese, milk, that can sometimes cause a bit of a refluxy up the esophagus, that refluxy feeling. And so if we're about to sing and we're feeling a bit refluxy, that's not going to help at all. Again, there's more mucus production through the throat. That's not going to help in any case either. And it just kind of makes you want to, again, clear your throat more. So those things are probably what I would try to avoid. Some people talk about coffee as well.
Yeah, Kathleen was actually asking, is coffee okay? She's begging you to say yes, but tell us your verdict.
I personally think coffee does dehydrate the body. Okay, so it makes you want to urinate more. And so that just means that it's using up all that hydration through the body. And so is it probably the best when you're trying to keep your voice hydrated, keep the body hydrated? Probably not. I would say, look, if you've got a performance the next day, or you've got, you could work out the time frame, have a coffee, and then make sure you've got plenty of time to rehydrate the body. I think water is just as important as well, and we can touch on that as well, because our body's made up of almost 80 to 90% of water, and our lung capacity and around our chest and our shoulders, water is held at a great capacity as well. So we want to make sure that the body is hydrated. Coffee or green tea, caffeinated stuff is just going to dehydrate the body and probably not give it the best result that we're looking for. In terms of some foods, in terms of some foods that we could look into, that I think would be really good is fresh fruit. Okay, maybe not juices because they've got all those added preservatives and all those added stuff in there. But fresh fruit is always good. An apple, a pear, an orange, that should be totally fine. Lean meats are really good as well. So in terms of our nutrition, the three main nutrients that make up our body are protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Fats and carbohydrates are used for energy in the body compared to protein, which is our recovery nutrient. So when we're singing, we need to make sure that our voice is also recovering and is also healing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kerry, but I think there's the voice has there's little muscles that come through that expand and relax. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, our throats there's actually over 100 muscles around the laryngeal structure. Absolutely. Yeah, there's heaps of muscles going on.
If that's if there's so many muscles around there, we want to make sure those muscles are healing and they're recovering. And how do you do that? That's through the nutrient of protein. So protein can be found in meats. You can also go to nuts. You can also go to eggs. I mean, depending on what your nutrition looks like. But protein is going to be really important for the healing process. I also would recommend a lot of vitamin A. Vitamin A actually helps with the natural production of mucus in the body, so through our throat. So some good vitamin A food options are yellow vegetables or yellow types of foods. So potatoes, we all love potatoes, carbohydrate, I love potatoes. But yellow vegetables are also really good because they help with the production of mucus through that membrane, and actually helps it keep it healthy and helps it keep it under tact. So it's not releasing too much, too less, but actually helps good, healthy production. So vitamin A, that's a really,
kind of like a regulating mucus. in a
Yeah.
way that gives us the mucus we actually need for repair and for soothing, whatever,
Correct.
but not too
Yeah.
much that you feel like you need to clear your throat and all that. Is that what you
But what
mean?
counters that is the dairy and then all the other stuff that processed.
Yeah, yeah.
Make
So
sure
what's an
vitamin.
example of a
Um,
yellow vegetable? What do you mean by that? Like a
um,
capsicum, or that's the
yeah,
only thing I can think of.
yeah, yeah, like a yellow capsicum. I'm sorry, they're not just yellow vegetables, but they can come in forms of spinach. Kale has it as well. This is going to test my memory a
Oh
little bit.
yeah. Yep. Cool.
Spinach,
Cool.
potatoes
Cool.
have it, sweet
Yep.
potato.
Yep.
Great options. And I think the last one, which I'm a huge fan of as well, would be honey. Just in some
Yep.
warm water, adding in some honey that helps lubricate the throat, helps soothe it. Even having tea that's, got a
Yeah.
little bit of honey in it as well. That's always going
Yeah.
to help. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Now, there's a quick question here, I think, which is a good one. How long
Mhm.
after eating should you wait until singing? Kathleen wants to know. Do you have any insights into that? No?
Yeah, look, I think it is a bit of a personal preference. When I eat, I'm actually quite full. My digestive system's working. There's a little bit of a process for the body to kind of process what you've eaten. So I would say at maybe just an average kind of level, maybe 30 minutes. 30
Yep.
depending on how your body responds to
Yes.
the food. But 30 minutes is a good mark, just to let your digestive system do what it needs to do. Maybe get some stuff out of your teeth if you've eaten some food as well. Make sure you have some water with it as well. But 30 minutes is a good mark, just to let your esophagus and your throat process everything down, and then you can then just the focus on the voice rather than your body focusing on the digestive system working.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. Now, there's been a couple of really distressing, like in terms of the food that we have to avoid. And I just want to address that real quick, and then I'll get your thoughts on it too, Niall. But, Virgie's saying she loves cheese and milk. So do I. So I totally understand where you're coming from here.
Oh,
Darren's
me too.
to not cry about the whole coffee issue. Now, what I want to sort of add really quick is that I don't think we're saying never, ever, 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 ever eat milk, cheese, and never, 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 never have coffee if you're a singer. That's unrealistic and not sustainable, right? And it's going to cause us to binge. But what we are saying is, if to be basically quite smart and strategic about it, like if you have a gig, on the weekend, then it's best to avoid those foods 24 to 48 hours before if you want to sound your very, very best. Okay. Now, are you going to have a crazy, awful performance if you have one cup of coffee 24 hours before? No, like it's okay, but you got to make sure you supplement that with lots of water as well. So I guess what I just wanted to add is not so people don't feel so distressed that they need to give up all these foods forever, but it's really about the time before a gig or before before a time where you need to get up and sing, whether that's for whatever reason it is. If you want to sound optimal, if you're recording something, if you're worship leading at church, if you're doing an actual show or whatever, that's just best practice, right? And we do our best. We do our best. And
sorry, I should have mentioned that. Please, don't avoid those foods because they've got great nutrients in them.
Yeah.
A lot of foods do, especially dairy products as well. But we just want to make sure, just like with anything, in preparation for something, you might have to just restrict or limit yourself for a particular period of time. So in particular for your voice, it's just at complete capacity, it's just ready to go, and there's no other little hindrances that can come through. So don't avoid it. Just make sure the timing is correct. That's what we're trying to get.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And really great tips there on the nutrition for singers, Niall. Really appreciate that. So hey everyone, get your vitamin A on. Now, so Niall, tell us a little bit more about just what you offer in terms of your services. What kind of things, like if songbirds around the world were actually interested in really delving deeper into this stuff, getting healthy with their bodies, with nutrition and movement, in order to help them become even better singers, what kind of services do you offer, and how can we go about contacting you?
Absolutely. So I am a personal trainer slash health coach as well, and I think the personal training side of things is more about the movement and how your body's moving and how we can move it better. I think when it comes to exercise, a lot of people have got quite a negative relationship with exercise. Not saying everyone, but when it comes to, oh, I've got to punish my body because I ate a certain thing and I've got to look a certain way. And I don't think it's ever been about that. Comparison is a major trap, and we've got to make sure that we remember we've got one body and we've got to make sure that we look after it well. I sometimes like to think of my body as like a guitar. I've got to make sure I'm tuning it. Sometimes I've got to replace the strings. I've got to make sure I'm oiling it. Like, you've got to look after it because that's the only way it will work to capacity. Now, exercise and nutrition are just two tools of many tools that you can use to help with whatever your goal is, to sing better, to perform better, or whatever it is. So I like to use that concept of not punishing the body, but rather celebrating movement and going, hey, your body's moving. How can we help you move better? How can we help you move at a stronger level, at a bigger level, at a level that, and just depending on your lifestyle as well. Have you got kids? Like, there's a lot of elements that come into play, but I think my personal training element is very customized and individualized to each person, making sure that they are moving at their ultimate best. And I think the health coaching side of things comes into looking into nutrition, looking at a little bit of, your lifestyle and where things might be a bit challenging and some of the roadblocks that can come into play, because ignoring the roadblocks can be sometimes a big area where people go, oh, yeah, I want to get healthy and fitter, but there's got to be steps to get there. Do we need to change some habits? Do we need to look into some lifestyle changes? Do we need to look into how can we remove some foods or some drinks that maybe are a bit of an addiction? I'm not sure. But going along the journey with people for a sustainable and long-term approach to hit their goals when it comes to exercise and when it comes to nutrition.
So good. Now, Niall, you do actually offer all of this stuff on Zoom, right? So I know,
Yes,
right now in Melbourne, we're under the strictest lockdowns, and I actually haven't seen you in person for ages, but we've been working out every week, once a week, every week on Zoom. So guys, it doesn't matter where you're located. I know everyone's from all around the world on this live stream and also watching later. So it doesn't matter where you're from. You can actually book Niall for a personal training session. And it'll be all done on Zoom, and the health coaching sessions as well.
Yeah, with your partner, with a group, and you can get your kids along as well if they're with you as well. It's about making it work for yourself. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, guys, if it's something you're interested in, Niall's links are in the description box. Follow him on Instagram and Facebook, and also his email is there as well. If you do want to contact him to ask him further questions about his personal training and health coach services, feel free. Okay, it's well worth your while to do this, because, as I said before, a healthy body definitely flows into a healthy, strong voice that is free. Okay, guys, I really encourage you to do that. Get your body stamina up, because that's going to help you get your vocal stamina up, and just learn how to move better and eat better. And, you're just going to feel so good for it, and it's going to come through in your singing. So all of Niall's links in the description box below. Hey, Niall, thank you so very much for joining us today. It has been an absolute privilege and honor to have you join us. I can see that all the Songbirds on were just so thrilled to have you. I think we've all learned a lot that's so practical, that we can really apply into our daily routines to get our bodies just healthier, so that we can actually have healthier voices and sing to the best of our ability as well. So thank you so very much.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on board. Songbirds, smash it out.
Awesome. So now we're going to say goodbye to Niall now. Niall, if you can just sort of hang back behind the wings, I'll be with you in a second, just while I tell the Songbirds about next week. All right. See you, Niall. Thank you so very much. All right, Songbirds, let me tell you about next week. Now, how good was that, by the way? I encourage you to put clapping emojis or smiley face emojis or thumbs up, whatever it is. And let Niall know just how much you appreciate him. But let me tell you about next week while you do that. So next week, I have to tell you, first of all, that there is a time change with the live stream, because in Australia, all of our clocks go forward an hour this weekend. And so next week's live stream will be 1 hour later. Okay. So it's going to be 9 p.m. EDT. Okay. So not 8 p.m., but 9 p.m. EDT, which is still 10 a.m. on Tuesday, AEST. Now, next week is a very, very, very special time. I've got another special guest coming on board. She's actually one of my one-on-one students. She's a singer-songwriter. Her name is TARTIE, and she has been releasing some great music recently. We're going to get her on board. She's going to perform a few songs for us. I'm going to interview her. You're going to get to know her story and how she actually became an artist, and how she actually became a songwriter. And, she's also a fantastic piano player. You're just absolutely going to love her. Do not miss next week, okay? No matter what you do, drop everything and just join us for half an hour. You're going to love her music. You're going to love her personality. You're going to love her story. So make sure you join. The link is coming up below in the bottom of the screen. It's also in the description box. You can click on that right now to set yourself a reminder so that you can join us next week. And just another very quick reminder of my free course, here we go, free course, How to Sing in Mixed Voice and Stop Flipping and Straining. Remember that you can get that completely for free just by clicking in the description box below and signing up. Okay, so once again, thank you so very much, guys, for just like joining us today. It is honestly been the most amazing fun. And Niall, I actually will add you back to this stream for a second, because there's been quite a few thanks to you, and I think you should see this. So Kathleen, very inspiring. Which you are, Niall. You're incredible. Darren's saying thanks you. Izzy's saying goodbye and thanks. Darren's like, smash it out. Okay, what does smash it out mean in Aussie language? Do you want to explain that?
Smash out the exercises.
Yeah. Reggie was like, smash it out. Anyway, what we're saying is just go out there and live your best life, guys. All right. Yeah. Do the exercises. Okay. Yeah. All right. And Michelle is also thanking you as well and saying good night. Michelle. All right. Well, Songbirds, and I believe Niall is the same. We always believe in you. So why don't you get out there, get grounded, take flight and sing, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Songbirds. And thank you again, Niall.